This is Charm's Canadian Love Map, the show that uncovers incredible Canadian love stories.
Tell people you love them. If we all amplify the love that we have, we can really change the world around them.
I love love.
Hi, I'm Nancy Regan, your host. And thanks to Charm Diamond Centers, we've spent nearly 10 seasons sharing the stories that shape us. This season, we're digging even deeper, chasing the spark behind every connection. The unexpected reunions, the little moments, and the bold leaps of faith.
In order to have world peace, or even a thought of it, we all have to work together.
But it's all out of the love of animals and wanting to help animals. The stories that I have from talking to our supporters is absolutely incredible. It's just, I'm the luckiest person.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Canadian Love Map. For this week, I'm here with my fabulous producer, Madison, and we're talking about fur love.
Fur babies.
Yeah, I know. Your phrase is fur babies, and I didn't want to steal it, but I was like,
I love it.
Fur love? For sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
So
pets
many puns.
play such an amazing role in the lives of so many humans.
Yes, 1000%. Me, you being two of those humans, and our guest is one of those humans. There's so much love there, and I feel like everybody knows somebody with a pet that they are like a dog mom or like a cat dad or all of that stuff. And it's just, pets are the best.
But some of those love stories can go down a tough road. And the guest today is really, working with an organization that is there as a safety net.
For sure.
And there are 4 letters that really, I think, connect with everybody. SPCA.
Woohoo!
And Creston is just someone who wants to talk to us today about that special connection that humans have with pets, but also their role in protecting them.
And so much love. Mm-hmm. So much love.
And it's not just about protection, as you're going to hear. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I am feline fine. That's my first pet joke of the day. I promise it's my only pet joke of the day.
I'm definitely used to a lot of play on words with cats and dogs at the SPCA. We use them a lot, so
it's your kind of humor. I'm relieved. I went out on a limb there. How long have you been with the SPCA? And even when I say those 4 letters, I feel like they conjure up a feeling of compassion and warmth, because people seem to really have a general understanding that you are all about taking care of these sweet little 4-legged and other animals that can run into trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with the SPCA for a little over 4 years now. I work as a fundraiser there because we really rely heavily on the community for our support. We don't receive any government support for our shelter and hospital operations. So
really?
No, we don't. So last year alone, we raised over $6.5 million from donations, and our budget's around 11.5. So it just shows you how much the community is supportive of the SPCA and the work that we do. So we're really grateful for that. But it was kind of a dream job for me to come to the SPCA. I'm a huge animal lover, and I was actually a donor before I joined. So.
Oh, wow. What was your background with pets?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up with cats in my childhood, and it wasn't until I always liked animals or cats, but it wasn't until I met my current partner 14 years ago that I really developed my love for pets and passion. She had grown up never being allowed to have pets in her house, and she really wanted to get a dog. And I was really reluctant to have a dog because I never had one.
You were a cat person. She was a dog person. Oh, that's the first conflict. Watch out.
Yeah, we had a cat at the time, which we really enjoyed. But she kept on me, and we ended up. I gave in, and we got Charlie, who's our oldest. He actually just turned 11 yesterday, and we got Charlie, and it was love at first sight. The greatest thing ever. I mean, we love our cat Tony as well, but something with dogs, for me in particular, it just they rely so much more heavily on you. And since then, we've actually added another dog, Kuma, to our family. So we have two dogs, one cat, and they're all orange. So we call them Orange Crush.
I love the names too. Oh, that's really great. And it is interesting, isn't it, that I hear so often stories where one partner has to convince the other, and I might even have lived that, to tell you the truth. My husband wasn't so sure about getting a dog, and he did the whole bit about, okay, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to have time to take responsibility. It's basically like we did a prenup with the dog. And as it turned out, he really fell in love too. And I think that's it. As you say, the SPCA, let me start that again. As I said, the SPCA, just those letters seem to bring up a sense of love, but it really is an organization that runs on love.
Absolutely. Our volunteers, our donors, our staff are so passionate about animals and helping animals. It's incredible. They're definitely, our staff, like you said, they're not doing it for the paycheck. It's for their passion of helping animals. And, I commend them so much for what they do, because, there's a lot of, there's a lot of tricky situations or things that they see or come in contact with that are, are pretty tough. But, it's, the SPCA it does conjure a lot of great emotions. Our challenge is we're really trying to promote the fact that we've grown a lot over the years. So we've been in the community we're going to be celebrating our 150th anniversary very soon. And just the fact that we've grown so much over the past 100 and close to 150 years, we have shelters, but we also have hospitals. We've opened a college. We enforce our Animal Protection Act in Nova Scotia. And then we also have a lot of community programs to help people that are in need so that they can stay together, to help them stay together with their pets. Because in a lot of cases, pets are one's family. And in some cases, a person may not have a human, a significant other or family members. So that, their cat, dog, or a rabbit is their family. So we want to do what we can to keep them together.
Tell me a little bit more about the work you do and maybe the work that people are surprised to hear goes on at the SPCA.
Yeah. So one of our main functions will always be to shelter animals who are being surrendered or abandoned. We have 6 shelters across our province. We stretch from Yarmouth all the way to Sydney, Cape Breton. So we provide the shelter, food. We also provide medical care for those pets that come into our care. A lot of them, come to us with significant medical issues. So we want to get them to a place where they're healthy and they can be adopted, and their new family is not going to have any problems with them. Also, there's a lot of rehabilitation that has to be done with the animals,
physically or emotionally, or both, I suppose.
I would say both. A lot of the animals have come with trauma, so they have fear of people, and it's. We work with them to build up their trust so that they feel comfortable going into a new home. Physically as well, a lot of the animals, they may need they need a new surgery, or they may need some help, getting accustomed to the day-to-day, I guess, regularities of being a dog or a cat. So. And then in addition to that, we also probably provide the medical care to the public. A lot of people don't know that we actually have hospitals in 3 communities across the province that are open to the public. So we've opened public hospitals called the Tartan Tales Veterinary Hospitals, who anybody can access in the community, just like a regular veterinary hospital.
And is that typical of SPCA across the country? Is that a trend?
From my knowledge, no, it's not. But what we're finding is in some communities there's a shortage of accessible veterinary care. So we're trying to fill those gaps as best as we can. We've also opened a college to train veterinary assistants. We started that in 2021, and we've had 73 graduates of the veterinary assistant program. And a lot of those people have come on and worked with us. So we're doing a lot of educating as well of people in this space, so that they will eventually work with us or go on to work with other animal welfare organizations in Nova Scotia.
Tell me about the people who work in your organization, and maybe mostly the volunteers who are there really out of a sense of commitment and I guess anchored in heart reasons.
Our volunteers are absolutely fantastic. Some of them have been working or volunteering with us for years. We have an extensive foster network. So in cases where an animal, a cat or dog or a bunny might come into us and they may need longer term care, and the shelter environment can be very stressful in a lot of cases. So what we try to do, as long as it's possible, is to match that animal with a foster family, and that foster family works with them in their environment, to make on the things that they need and providing them with care or whatnot. But they're so passionate. They care so much for what we do. In a lot of cases, our volunteers, they've decided to volunteer with us because they've decided that they can't have pets of their own. So this is a way for them to give back in a way that's meaningful to them, and we appreciate it so much.
So they love animals, but it's not realistic for them to bring one into their home, maybe.
Exactly. Some may be living in an apartment or a condo where they're not allowed to have animals. In some cases, I hear this a lot when you get to a certain age. We have donors or volunteers who feel that they just don't have the capacity to look after an animal on a daily basis. So, but they still want to help. So this is their way of helping it. And it is such a big help for us, especially, during the course of the day. If they're volunteering in the shelters, they help with a lot of the cleaning, a lot of the animal enrichment. So that gives our staff time to concentrate on other things and frees up a lot of their time. So definitely a lot of...
What's animal enrichment?
Yeah, so animal enrichment is... anybody can do it. You can just come in and on a daily basis, as long as we're open, and really spend time with their cats or dogs. With their cats, taking them out of their kennels and playing with them. Petting them because they need that enrichment. They need that time with people. It can be very lonely in a shelter environment, so it's important that they're getting that stimulation with humans, so that it's not such a big change for them when they go to a home. As well as for dogs, dogs, they have to go out for daily walks. So we rely on a lot of volunteers, which we call it enrichment. So they can come in and sign up to walk a dog. And as long as the dog is in a place where they can be walked by a volunteer, they can walk the dog outside and spend as much time with them and then come back.
That's kind of beautiful. You have donors, obviously a lot of them, who give you money to help run the organization. But then you've also got all these people making donations of love.
Absolutely. There's so many different ways that people can give to the SPCA, whether it's through their love of volunteering, donating financially. We have some individuals. We have thrift stores across the province. We have a lot of people who may not be able to volunteer or may not be able to donate financially, but they have items in their house that they can donate to their thrift store. So that's how they choose to give. But it's all out of the love of animals and wanting to help animals. The stories that I have from talking to our supporters is absolutely incredible. It's just, I'm the luckiest person.
You hear all the testimony, sort of. There are probably a lot of people who think of the exchange for someone who adopts a dog from the SPCA. A lot of people might think, oh, well, they're giving that dog a new home. That's such a wonderful thing to do for that dog, the cat, the rabbit. What do the human beings get out of it? What do you witness?
The unconditional love that a pet can provide a person is just, it's unbelievable. I see it in my life on a day-to-day basis. I come home, all of my pets are there to greet me. When I'm feeling down, they're there for me to provide that lift up. So to answer your question, the mental health aspect of owning a pet I think is really greatly underestimated, underappreciated by a lot of people, as well as owning a pet a lot of times forces you to, especially if you own a dog, to go out and be more physically active, get out there and walk your dog. And that's a fantastic thing as well. So, promoting the mental and physical contributions that animals provide is, I think, is the way to go. So,
Yeah, I mentioned that I had to convince my husband about the dog. And one of the ways in which I did that was that I found an article that was written in a very compelling way that talked about how children who grow up with pets, and in this case, dogs in particular, have greater self-esteem and confidence because of the constant source of unconditional love. Because as anybody else in the house can be annoyed with you or cross about something, or just there can be dissonance in the house, but the dog or cat, presumably, just always gives you that love. And that builds something really special in kids. That I remember reading that, and it made a difference for my husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen the truth of it for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like looking at just the cues of my dogs, to know how much they love you when they look at you so lovingly, just stare at you, or if they jump up onto the couch and lay right next to you, it just warms your heart and definitely, I don't know, just adds a great thing to your life. So.
You're right. It's not just children who benefit from that source of unconditional love. This podcast is made possible by the support of Charm Diamond Centers. As a proudly Canadian-owned company, they care deeply about shining a light on love. Can you think of any stories where someone's life has really been changed for the better from having adopted an animal from the SPCA?
Yes, I can. I won't name names, but somebody I know who's a friend of mine actually had lost somebody close to them in their family, and we had arranged a time. It was a friend of mine arranged a time to come to the shelter on a Saturday, and this person came early, and he had also lost his dog very, very close to the same time. So he lost his person close to his life. So he was going through a rough time, and he came early before some of his coworkers came. It was like a group initiative. They were coming to the shelter, and the first thing he said is, I need to walk a dog. And we got him a dog. He took that dog up for a walk, and he ended up adopting her. And
Wow.
it's probably been over a year now, but I go out for walks with my dog, and it's, he's incredibly happy. it's just been, I think, really helped get through a tough time and, take his mind off of the losses that he had. But it's just, it's been incredible. So.
Yeah, I have seen evidence of that sort of thing as well, where you can see an animal playing the role of a grief doula, almost really helping the human through a loss and just being there for them. So that's beautiful. I also know that the SPCA does a lot in terms of supporting animals when humans are in trouble, and you made reference to this. But if for instance, a woman, for instance, if a woman has left an abusive situation, I can only imagine how comforting it is to know that the SPCA is actually taking care of the pet that she can't keep with her. That's just one circumstance. Talk to me about that.
So what you're referring to is our Paws and Support program. And that program was created out of, listening to the community and the community needs. So, we have this great program called Paws and Support for individuals who may be going through a domestic abuse situation and are reluctant or hesitant to leave that situation because they don't have anybody to turn to as far as leaving their dog or cat or other pet with them. So what they can do is actually they can bring their pet to the SPCA through one of our trusted partners, and we'll look after that pet until they get back on their feet or the help that they need. We take care of the medical expenses as well as the food during that time. And, once they're at a place where they can take, they're feeling comfortable or they found new housing or whatnot, we'll return their pet back to them. So we also do that in situations where an individual might be reluctant to go get the mental health help that they need, or, go in for a surgery that they need. They can surrender their pet to us and we'll look after them and then return it to them once they get the help. So it's been a very successful program, and it's one that I'm really proud of.
Wow, that is the work of love. That's really beautiful. I'm curious as to whether you think there's more demand for animals these days, and whether, I don't know if that was part of the pandemic, but I see that there seems to be a growing population of pets out there.
There definitely was a growing demand during the pandemic. I think what we've seen is a lot of people after the pandemic, maybe not right away when things opened up, but over time, we've seen a lot more surrenders back to the SPCA.
Really?
And a lot of that has to do with the cost of owning a pet, the veterinary costs as well as the food, litter, whatnot it's quite expensive. So we've created some programs in order to try to, I guess, lessen the burden on some of the people. But unfortunately, there has been a lot more surrenders over the past couple of years.
Well, I guess that makes sense. If people were looking for a sense of connection and had the time and space when they were locked down, they maybe thought it was a great idea to get a pet. But then you're dealing with the after effects of that. And that's really amazing that, you're there to sort of be a safety net for those animals. And that's, that's to some extent, that's going to be something people will judge, but not everybody deserves criticism for having had to give up animals.
Yeah.
Is that something you deal with, that you really try to make people feel better about having to make a decision to surrender an animal?
Yes, our staff are really non-judgmental. I think it's very important to be non-judgmental because every circumstance is different. It's very difficult for individuals to have to surrender their pets to us. And it could be for a variety of different reasons. So we just try to listen to them and not judge as far as why they have to do it, and make them feel comfortable. So they do a fantastic job in doing that. Our philosophy is we do our best to keep families together, as long as those families are loving. But even loving families, in some circumstances, they can't stay together for a variety of different reasons, out of the control of the owner of a pet. So we do our best not to be judgmental, for sure.
Mm-hmm. What sort of trends do you see in terms of pets with younger generations?
So a lot of, and I don't have any, this is more anecdotal from my observations. I don't have any data or whatnot, but a lot of the people that I come in contact with, younger people, they're choosing not to have children. And as a result, they're choosing to have furry families instead.
Furry families, I love that.
Yeah. So, for everybody, having children is maybe not a possibility or something that they're, fits their lifestyle, but having a cat or a dog or a bunny is something that they choose to do instead. So that's a trend that I'm starting to see more, and our staff are starting to see more. As well as, I would say, another trend is the amount of the investment that individuals make in their pets. It's incredible. I have conversations. The pet industry. It's grown so much. There's so many different products out there for Animals, and we're responding. People are spending a lot more money, that wasn't the trend before. My parents, I've had, I would say, heated discussions with my parents about our pets, because we spoil them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something. They come from a place where my mom had dogs growing up, but they were treated a lot differently. They weren't treated poorly, but they weren't getting certain types of food. They weren't.
Those were the days when dogs maybe were out in the dog house, literally, like a little house outside, and they didn't stay inside with the family, right?
Yes, that's exactly what, in this circumstance. Yeah, my mom's dog was an outdoor dog, and they ate the table scraps. And for us to actually prepare meals for them, it's I think it's a little bit harder for her to understand. And also, we let our dogs and cats sleep in our bed.
So
and
your
just
parents
my parents
shake their heads.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny. Well, I think it also seems that our parents' generations got married and had kids, and then pets might be added to the mix. But these days, what I'm hearing you say, and I guess I am seeing this myself, it's much more common for a couple to get together to have a family by having a pet first and then maybe going on to have kids. But the pets seem to have taken precedence over the kids. Like, let's make sure we can handle a pet first.
You're right. That's so true.
What would you love our listeners to know about the SPCA before we wrap up our conversation? Your job, I know, focuses a lot on helping to raise funds for all the amazing work you've described. What do you want to say to people to really encourage them to support your organization and all those animals?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, the community is really so important to the work that we do. Last year alone, we served over 24,000 animals across Nova Scotia. And, with that, there's a lot of expenses involved in that, medical care, food. So I would say that, taking an interest in the work that we're doing, knowing that we're so much bigger than our shelters now, that we've expanded our services so much more over the years. And as we've done this, we've also incurred a lot more expenses. But we're doing this really all to fill the needs or meet the needs of the community, whether for medical care, for education. So I guess what I would say to your listeners is, for those who are supporters of ours currently, we appreciate it so much. And for those who aren't, I would say definitely check out our website, www.novascotiaspca.ca, or give us a call. We really appreciate to chat with you, or to show you what we're up to in person, with a tour, or just to chat over coffee. So, yeah.
And since we have people listening across the country and beyond, I think we need to extend that and say, check into your local SPCA and see if you can give a donation of either monetary or love nature, and see, whether it means volunteering or, as you say, just offering to take care and really snuggle with some of those animals. It's a really meaningful way to get involved.
Yes, there's so many great organizations across Canada that do so much great work. So go support them, and they'll be so appreciative.
All right. Well, say hello to your 3 fur babies for me.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Creston, so much.
Thanks a lot, Nancy.
Thanks so much for listening. If you have loved this episode, then why not subscribe, rate, and review Charm's Canadian Love Map? Do you have a love story that you're dying to share, yours or someone else's? Reach out to us at Canadian Love Map on Instagram or Facebook. We'd love to hear your story.